Hey guys, I see a lot of questions out there asking, what is pregnancy like? What can I expect during pregnancy? And that's a very fair question. This whole new dad experience begins with pregnancy, and this is where you can start noticing some of the changes in your life and start practicing those skills that you're going to need later on for when the baby actually arrives. Now, pregnancy is not all the same. There are 3 phases, 3 trimesters, and each trimester looks very different from the other trimesters. So you can expect different issues to arise, different behaviors, different responses from your partner and from yourself as well. So I'm going to break down the entire pregnancy process and what it looks like into those 3 trimesters. So let's just cut to the chase. The first trimester is, without a doubt, the most stressful. This is the hardest one to get through. And when you do, the other 2 trimesters are kind of a breeze compared to the first. Now, in the first trimester, the risk of miscarriage is the highest. Unfortunately, that's just the body's way of making sure this is a viable pregnancy, making sure the genetics are okay, and making sure the baby's going to be healthy. And if it's not a healthy pregnancy and the baby's not going to turn out okay, the body will miscarry it. And that's extremely sad, and it's very stressful, and it's something that you and your partner may have to face. Then the second biggest challenge of the first trimester is the hormone changes and how that's going to affect mama. Now, the nice thing is that in the first 6 weeks, you're really not going to notice that much of a change. It's going to be life as normal. You may not even know that you guys are pregnant yet. You're not going to see any changes in mama. There won't be any behavior, mood changes. Everything's just going to be life as normal. Now, at the 5 to 6 week mark, that's when this pregnancy is really going to start to kick in within mama, and you're going to notice some changes in her. The first thing you're going to notice is she's going to become very tired, almost like overnight. Within a day or 2, she's going to go from operating at normal levels, just usual energy output, to being completely exhausted, unable to get off the couch, just really feeling like she's in the bottom of the pit. And that's normal. That's perfectly normal. You got to expect this. Then the second big change is she's going to start feeling nauseated. She's going to be stomach sick. It might either be just like a low-level kind of irpiness all the time, or it might be full-blown vomiting. And that's also very normal. This is known as morning sickness. It happens to almost all new mamas out there. So why this happens and why mama feels like she's being run through the meat grinder is because inside of her, there's a huge hormone flood happening. There's a tremendous amount of progesterone and HCG being produced. Now, those are both necessary for the pregnancy to continue, and without them, we can't have a baby, so they're good. And in fact, sometimes the stronger the reaction, the more healthy the pregnancy is. That's one way to look at it. If mama's feeling terrible and she's completely different from how she was a week ago, that's a good sign. That can be a really good thing. So don't worry about it. Now, what you do at this point and how you help mama through it can have a huge impact on how she feels, the amount of stress she has, and just really how easy it is for both of you to continue through the first trimester. And it's super simple. It really is easy. First, the very first thing you should do is just observe. Notice, make a conscious recognition in your head. Hey, she's not feeling good. I knew this was going to happen at some point, and here it is. She's feeling tired. She's feeling nauseated. This is normal. Here we go. Then the second thing is it's extremely important to be understanding and supportive. Don't try to push her to get off the couch. Don't ask her to rally and go out to dinner, or say, hey, can you keep doing the dishes, or try to push her in any way. She wants to have that energy back. Trust me, she does. It may not look like it. She may be telling you how tired she is, but if given the choice, she would definitely rather have the energy to continue life as normal, but she simply can't. It's physically not possible, not with the amount of hormones in her system. So realize that, be aware of it, and just be supportive. Take a step back and say, hey, you know what? You're tired. Let me make dinner tonight. Let me do the dishes. That's okay. Whatever she normally does, try to take more for yourself to do. Now, the third thing is to go the extra mile. Encourage her to stay on the couch longer. Encourage her to go take a nap. Encourage her to get all the rest she can and not feel the need to get up and be productive. That's really where you can bring out your A game and help her through this process. And here's a secret for you. No matter how much sleep she gets, no matter how much rest she gets, she's not going to feel better. She could sleep 13, 14, 15, 20 hours a day, and it's not going to make a difference. She's still going to feel exhausted. And again, it's all because of that hormone surge that's happening inside of her body. Now, also at this point comes the food cravings. And she may not know for most of the day what she wants to eat until she actually gets hungry. You may have dinner every night at 6 o'clock and it'll be 5:15 before she says, tonight's going to be chicken burrito night, or tonight I want a beet salad, or whatever it is. And those cravings are going to be very strong and generally very last minute. So just roll with those. Do your best to try to provide. The idea of having a pre-made dinner or scheduling meals days out in advance really isn't going to fly here. So if that's what you've been doing, you can expect a big change. Get ready for impromptu, off-the-cuff, very unique culinary requests. That's okay. Do your best to accommodate those. It's really going to help. Now, on the intimacy side, you can expect a dry spell for probably the remainder of the first trimester and partway into the second trimester once this fatigue and nausea sets in. I mean, let's think about this. Let's just put ourselves in her shoes for a minute. How frisky would you be feeling if you're exhausted and stomach sick all the time? That's fine. It's perfectly normal. This doesn't mean you guys still can't have good times together. Just talk about it. There's creative ways to find each other's company pleasurable. There's things that you can do that don't involve just like the standard, intercourse type of situation. Just be open. Talk about it with her. Say, hey, these are my needs. And she'll tell you what her needs are. Encourage her to express herself and just have an open communication. And that's going to make things go by a lot more smoothly, no pun intended. Let's talk a little bit about baby care. What should you expect in terms of how to care for the baby? Well, as soon as you guys know you're pregnant, or 6 to 8 weeks after your pregnancy, whichever sooner, you need to have your first OB visit. That's when you need to go in, talk to the doctor, get set up with OB care, and just make sure that you check in and get things rolling from a medical care perspective. You can also expect there to be something called a dating ultrasound as soon as you see the doctor, like maybe even at the very first visit. And what that is they will go in there with an ultrasound and take a look at the baby just to see what it looks like, see how it is, see where it is and what's going on. Now, my wife and I started calling our kiddo Tic Tac from the dating ultrasound because it was honestly about the size of a Tic Tac when we saw it on the monitor. Just so cute. And then finally, you can expect them to do blood work on mama at that first appointment too. They're going to draw some blood. They're going to run a whole bunch of standard panels. It may seem like they're worried and checking for something. No, it's just standard procedure for them to look at everything all at once and try to rule out anything that can be of concern down the road. So just be ready for that. Now, a couple things you're not going to see in the first trimester. You're not going to see any baby bump. If you ever look online and see mama's posting little tiny baby bump pictures at 7 weeks, 8, 13 weeks, whatever, well, that's just extra tacos or gas. Then you're not going to feel the baby move. You won't feel any kicking at that point. You're not going to feel anything. She's not going to feel anything. So don't be surprised if that happens and you guys are wondering, like, why isn't this baby kicking? Well, that's just not a thing yet. Now, once you guys make it past this first trimester, just remember, keep in mind, the other 2 trimesters are cake compared to this one. There's going to be some things that come up, but they're not going to be as difficult or as stressful for you, the dad, as this first one. Now, if you want to know what the second trimester is like, watch my next video, because that really is just the golden age of pregnancy. This is the 1920s flapper trimester of the 3, and it is pretty darn fun. It really is fun. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Check out my next 2 videos on the second and third trimester to see what those look like and what you can expect during pregnancy.